Hey guys, I need to look at the camera. I always look over there. That's not where you are. I need to stare into your soul. Bleh. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and this week I thought I'd tell you a little bit about some travel stories that have happened to me. I know in past videos I've said not to plan your trips too much because you can stumble upon things that give way better experiences than TripAdvisor ever could. So I thought I'd share some of those with you just so you could get an idea of the types of opportunities that can happen when you just kind of chill out and let things happen. So I thought I'd share a little bit about those, as some of them have been great moments, and I'm not gonna lie, a couple of them I felt like I could not have been any dumber for them. So let's get right into it. When I moved to Europe, I found a great group of people, and we actually just decided to become travel buddies for the whole semester that I was in Amsterdam. And we try to do one trip together every month. So the first one we went to, we did Budapest, and then the second one we did Rome and Florence, and then the third one we did Greece. We went to Mykonos. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you is very cool, I thought, and then it wasn't cool. So when we went to Rome, we visited the Vatican City. We wanted to see the Sistine Chapel, so we went all the way there, and it was wonderful. And when we were there, I was just kind of shooting shit with a random guy. He was talking about how they actually got to the ceiling to paint, and all of a sudden his sister came up to us and they revealed some information to us that one of their family members was actually a cardinal. And if you're not familiar with, I'm actually really not familiar with this either, but cardinal is actually like one step lower than the Pope. They were on a family trip to kind of see who was going to be the next Pope when Pope Francis passed the reins.
So they just kept talking to us.
And then we just kept talking.
We were literally just talking.
And they invited us to go to dinner with their family and to meet the cardinal. The sister who was there actually kind of mentioned that the Pope might show up. So of course we're gonna say yes. Like, if you have any opportunity to maybe meet the Pope, you're gonna take it. The thing was that our train to Florence was actually that night too. We were gonna have to miss our train and take a later one in order for all of this to work out. Are you gonna go home, or are you gonna try and meet the Pope? I actually kind of feel bad about this, but at the same time I didn't want to be pushy with them. But myself and one other friend of mine, we made everyone else go to Florence on the proper train. So we went, they gave us the address of the place, they added us on Facebook. We were actually there 2 hours early. Let me tell you about this restaurant too. So this restaurant that they were having this dinner at was on the top of a mountain. So we got there 2 hours early, and there was literally nothing for us to do for 2 hours. We tried to we were like, oh, maybe we can walk down the hill and see some stuff around this area. There was nothing. There was literally nothing. By the time we walked down the hill, it would have been 2 hours. Like, there was literally nothing to do. So we just kind of sat around, but we walked up to the hostess and we said we were here for the dinner with the Pope. And she kind of gave us this weird look like, what are you doing here? Like, you don't look like you belong here. So the family members started to arrive, and they were all giving us these weird looks too. We felt very out of place. But then the two family members that we had spoken to at the Sistine Chapel did show up, thank goodness. And they were talking to us and very welcoming, and it was great. And then the cardinal showed up, and we got some photos with him. It was time for dinner. We went inside, and we weren't sure if we were supposed to sit down with the family that we had been talking to. So we just kind of started following them. Like, what else are you gonna do? And she actually said we should sit at another table, which was fine. So we sat at another table. We started eating the bread. We started drinking the water. And after about 20 minutes, she came up to us and said, oh, I think my family is upset that we invited you here. I'm not sure why, but maybe you guys can stay, just maybe sit at a table that's upstairs, which they had reserved the whole bottom floor, and the top floor was still part of the restaurant. So we were like,
okay,
we can just leave if you want. Like, we feel super bad. We don't want to be here if we're not wanted. And she was like, no, it's okay. Just go sit upstairs. So we started packing our stuff to go sit upstairs, and 2 minutes later she came over and said, no, I think you guys should leave. So I'm not really sure what happened there. I'm not sure if the Pope did show up, or if he ever was going to show up. But all in all, it was still pretty hilarious that we went there and we almost met the Pope. After that, we decided to go get our train to Florence and buy a bottle of wine to forget about the fact that we almost met the Pope but didn't. We got on the train and we found these seats that literally like folded, like they were like this, but then they like slid down and it made like a king size bed, and we just fell asleep. And we actually woke up about 3 minutes before our stop, which who knows where we would have ended up if we didn't wake up right then and there. So that was a pretty crazy time. So to help me with this video, I reached out to my group of friends and this one came up. So we're in Florence now and we decided to go out for some drinks. This is a really short story because I honestly don't remember that much. I remember we went to this shot bar. I think you could get like 4 shots for €7 or something awesome. And so obviously that's a steal of a deal. And I remember I just drank 16 of them right in a row. I remember I told my crush that I wanted to be serious with him at the time. Apparently I was a good time. After we were talking about 16-shot Jordan, I went back through my memories on Snapchat and I found another photo of like 10 shots in Copenhagen, and I don't know what was going on with me in Europe. I must have been going through some shit because apparently that was normal for me. If I tried to drink like 1 glass of wine now, I'm like in bed by like 9 o'clock. You know, that is what it is. So we went to Mykonos in December, and in Greece, the on season is like end of May to like September or October. But we went in December, so there was literally nobody on the island. We went there expecting to have the best party ever because it's a party island, but we went there and there was nobody, and all of the clubs were closed. Even most of the restaurants were closed. I think there was like 2 restaurants that were open. So my friend and I, we decided to try to convince our friends to go on this hike with us. In order to find the mountain, it was actually like a 3-hour hike to the mountain, but we told them it was only half an hour hike. We just kept saying, oh, it's just a little bit further, it's just a little bit further. In order to get there, we had to like hop some fences, we kissed some horses, and we definitely got stuck in some like shrubs that are needly. I'm not even sure if we really knew where we were going, but we found a mountain and we climbed up it, and it was so windy at the top of it. I swear a couple of us almost blew off the top. Even if that wasn't the mountain that we were looking for, the view up there was gorgeous. It was near a beach, so we decided to go down to the beach, and we ended up skinny dipping in the Mediterranean. We did not bring towels with us, nor did we think about how we were gonna get back. It's starting to get dark now, and there's nobody on the island, so we can't like just call a cab. I don't know, we can't get anywhere really. So we were kind of freaking out a little bit, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, a car drives by slowly. So we're like waving him down, like please help, please help. He spoke no English, and we're like, can you drive us back to Mykonos, like please? And we figured it out, and he let us in his car, and he was bumping the best Greek techno music I've ever heard. I still want to know that song, but I didn't have enough time to Shazam it, you know. So this next one started out pretty cool. So I was just sitting at my school in Amsterdam, and I was speaking with one of my Dutch friends. In Amsterdam, a lot of people can speak English very well. So we were speaking in English, and this guy comes up and he says,
Oh, like, are you an international student?
Yep,
and I said,
I am. How'd you know?
and he's like,
Well, you're speaking English and you don't speak it like a Dutch person, so.
he asked me if I wanted to do an interview on what it was like to be an international student in Holland. So I agreed to do it, and we sat down, we did the interview, and he was asking me questions, and everything was fine, I thought. I actually got to be on the cover of a magazine, and basically what I was trying to say is that it's hard to come into a country where there are already groups of friends formed and try to kind of penetrate through that group and become friends with a friend group. Like, that was difficult. So in my opinion, that's why a lot of international students hang out together. And I was explaining to him that there are definitely some other ways that they could be helping to make exchange students and international students feel more included. And it's funny because I see it at my school too. It's not just in Amsterdam. I told him what I thought, and I thought I was being just about it and fair, and I wasn't bashing anyone, and I wasn't trying to be rude, and I wasn't trying to say that, you know, the Dutch suck or anything, because I actually think they're phenomenal people. I'm not sure if he twisted my words to make it sound that way, or if he Google translated it into Dutch and then that's how it sounded kind of bad on my part. But here I am on the face of a Dutch magazine, and inside are some words that are kind of offensive to the Dutch. So I feel like that was not a good call on my part. Something that I did while I was in Cambodia that really meant a lot to me was I volunteered at an orphanage. It was called Nakopka. It was an amazing experience for me. And we played with the kids and we gave them candies. We played soccer with them. We played some frisbee. Oh my God. When we showed up there, and not just to like give them things, but like to actually spend time with them. The lady who ran the orphanage offered to let us stay for supper and cook for us, which was so nice. But we had to decline because I think we were flying out that day, but I'm not sure. There's something going on that day. Again, with the language barrier, like I couldn't understand a word they were saying to me, and they couldn't understand a word I was saying to them. But we could still communicate, and I think that's something really important to figure out. I just think it's easy to realize that people smile in the same language, and people frown in the same language, and people get angry in the same language. I really try my best to do things for the greater good, and yeah, that might make me feel good too, but making me feel good about doing something good, I don't see the harm in that, unless it's kind of in a malicious way or a selfish way. But for me, all it's gonna do is make me want to keep doing those good things for the world and for other people. I know that there's a big thing on social media saying like, oh, you just want to post pictures on social media to show that you're a good person. But for me, I want to post these pictures on social media to show that if I can help others, then so can you. And I hope that I inspire other people to continue to help other people. So these are some of my favorite travel stories, things that I remember the most, and not always for the better, but not always for the worse. And if you like this video, give her a big thumbs up down there, and you can subscribe, or you can leave a comment too, you know? See you next week.